Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dudes of all teenagers, welcome to tonight's part one of a two-part double stream tonight. We're going to be continuing work on the Jamaica Plains Schoolhouse, and here's how this is going to work. Part one, which is from 12:30 here until about 3:30, that is all going to be finishing up the second floor. And if we have the time, we will build out the rough layout for what floor 3 is going to look like. And then part 2 is going to be all of the floor 3 stuff. I'm going to need about an hour in between, just because I have other stuff going on. I have to make sure that I've got a little bit of free time just to work on all that kind of stuff. However, part of this is to make up for not having streamed yesterday. Yeah, so apologies. I know I said we'd be streaming each of the regular days. However, I do think a double stream probably makes up for it. You'll be getting, for those of you watching on the VOD side of things, you will be getting hopefully 2 uploads tonight, depending on how quickly those uploads go through. I know they haven't been extremely fast recently, and I don't know what's been causing that. However, you will be getting 2 episodes, and there will not be a stream tomorrow. Yeah, normal schedule with all of that. I don't stream Sundays, and there will not be a Sunday stream this time. So what I think I'm going to do, because right now what we have to do is we have to detail all of these classrooms. What I think I'm going to do is rather simple, ? I hope it's simple. Here's the goal. We move that table up by 500 units. We'll attach a table to it on this side, so we need furniture, counters, wood. We'll go over there. And then we'll move it back down and stabilize it. That way we can attach a table over there. Snap that one. Move this back into place. Wonderful. And then I can attach 2 more tables. Oh. Can I attach 2 more tables? I hope I can. I should be able to. Ah, that would be it. Okay, so we've got all 3 tables there, which will be for these 3 rooms, and then, just as a way to ensure that everything lines up, as we usually do, we're gonna snap you, and then you, and then we're gonna follow that up with, yes, just making sure. We're gonna follow that over here with 3 more table sections. Okay, and then these 3 tables are going to be moved over there. We'll be using console commands for that. These 3 will stay here relatively, but we will still need to obviously use console commands here. What's important is that they are both properly lined up on the XY axis with the rest of this building, and we can properly space them out to accommodate the spacing that to duplicate the spacing of the desks that we had on the bottom floor. In fact, the even simpler way to do this would likely be this. We're gonna go minus 600 for you and keep you stable. That way these ones are already lined up on the y-axis exactly where they need to be, and we just have to shift them around on the x-axis. Perfect. Okay, that works very well. That works very well. So now all we need to do is we need to make sure that these desks end up centered or aligned properly where we would usually have them. This one is good, and so is this one. Those are perfectly fine, but we'll have to move the rest of them, so it's mostly going to be tedious work with the console commands. I have been reading the comments on the last couple of VODs. It's nice seeing people comment. I got a very interesting comment that I know now was definitely, you know, clearly a mistake. However, I tend to think it's actually very funny. I like the comment. Someone called my face rather administering, and I know that was a typo, and he meant to say distracting because it tends to not like the camera being in the scene itself, and I understand that camera isn't for everybody. But it was very funny. It was very funny to me. I've never been called administering before, and you know, it's honestly, I see it as a little bit of a compliment. But it was a funny comment nonetheless. Yeah, let's see. I've also received comments on which mods I'm using specifically for the actions I'm performing. So for the build, and I will eventually make a tutorial video. I just have to go ahead and complete this building because I'm already in the middle of it before I go and make a tutorial video on how all this stuff works. So if you check the mods list in any of the VODs, and for those of you watching on the VODs channel, thank you very much. Consider liking, commenting, and subscribing. Otherwise, for those of you watching on the VODs channel, you will see a long list of mods that I have that are specifically the settlement mods. And one of the questions that has come up is, okay, well, which mods specifically am I using to create these buildings? Not necessarily all of the decoration to things, you know, all the little objects that would be placed. That's a secondary mod. But for all of the actual building materials themselves, the walls, any decoration pieces. I don't know why Hancock is following me around. I'm in the build menu. He shouldn't be. Yeah, all of the actual structural mod pieces, all of that comes from one mod in particular. It's called Snappy Builds. Inside of Snappy Builds, I have the version that includes all of the DLC. I don't remember which other versions exist and which DLCs you need if you're not going for the full DLC one, but I'm assuming with a game that's 9 years old, most people are playing with all of the DLCs. So, you know, just go ahead and make sure you've grabbed that, or at least your Far Harbor, your Vault-Tec, and your Nuka World DLCs. Those are kind of the big ones. But the mod is Snappy Builds. It would show up over here. So you move past the Raider section, and you get into all of the different mod options here on your build menu. It's just called Snappy Builds. We go in, and then for most of the buildings I love to use, we go all the way to the right. We go to the Shell Kit section, and it's a mixture of foundations, shared wall parts, and for this building in particular, it's Faneuil Hall. However, for the sake of being able to place wallpapers on things, I usually use foundations, shared wall parts, and the classic Shell Kit. Now, that's not every time. I have certainly more than once made the mistake of trying to attach wallpapers to parts that aren't from one of those three categories. But after you've built the rough outline of what you're looking for in Shell Kit, you leave the Shell Kit section and go to the right towards wallpapers and towards carpets and floor coverings. If you're gonna try and change up what the basic floors look like, these floors are also found within the Shell Kit section. But if you're going for wallpapers, you enter any of the shared wallpapers will be your standard, your full block, your half block high, half block wide, your door pieces. And then, depending on the individual wall pieces you've used, if you're using Shell Kit, you go to Shell. And then you go to interior or exterior materials and work from there. They should snap together. If they don't, you're going to need to use console commands in order to move the pieces around so that they do snap together. For instance, these half-wall doors tend not to like to snap, at least on one end of the door. They're not a big fan of it. So what I do, I'll enter into the console section. I will use my mouse and click on the door itself, mod pause Z 300, which is saying modify the position according to the Z axis. If you're looking, if you're familiar with upper division math in your primary and secondary schools, what you end up getting to, if you're familiar with plotting coordinates, you tend to plot things on the X and Y axis. Well, the Z axis is that third dimension. It's the height of the thing. The X and Y would be the length and the width. The height, that's your Z. So, you know, modify the position of this object by 300 units up, and then you can attach your wallpaper here. And then when you're done, you just modify it by you reverse the modification, so 300 units down. And then in order to get it to stop moving, because it won't always snap back into place properly, in order to get it to stop moving, you just have it modify by 0, and it just freezes the object in place. So that tends to be how it works. This will all be in a tutorial video later. Once we've completed this building, I will get to work on that tutorial video, because it is a clearly important thing, and I've gotten questions about this from many people at this point. And you know what? Just for the sake of it, the tutorial video will probably not have the camera involved, just because if I need to cut anything out, I don't want to have to worry about, you know, jump cuts with the camera or anything. Because that's always annoying. That's always annoying for me to work with. Okay, so what we need to do now is we need to, as I said earlier, we need to go ahead and position all of these desks properly. I think the easiest ones to do will be this desk and the one for that room as well, because they're already aligned exactly where they need to be on these within the classrooms. So first, I'm gonna move you down, and then I like to generally move things by 10 units until I know that I can get a little bit more granular. And then I'll move to 1 unit, but you can get all the way down to I think you can get as low as 3 or 4 decimal places in terms of how minute your movements for all of these objects tend to be. There's only once or twice that I've absolutely needed to do that, but it was interesting. It was certainly interesting. All right, then we're going to work on you. Alright, that's about as close as I'll be able to get it off the bat. Okay, that one should be good. This middle desk is a little trickier, only because we need to align the middle desk in between these two floor pieces. But in the grand scheme of things, it's not the end of the world. It's not the hardest thing I've had to work on. So as long as I've got it selected, we should be fine here. The first thing we're gonna do, drop it by 200 units, and then drop it by another 20, 40, 60, 70 units. And then we're going to move it to our left by 20 units, and then drop it a little bit more. Okay. And so now, as long as we're about about properly aligned here on this section. We can go ahead and move it around. And that's actually as close as I'm probably going to be able to make it. Maybe back by 1 unit, but that's about it. There we go. There we go. Wonderful. And then we can come in and add all of the other desk portions that we usually do later. It's just important that we have these basic pieces first. So once again, this is going to be the easiest one to work with. Because you are already properly aligned up against this wall, so no trouble. And we've got you. There we go. And then, once again, we just have to align you in the center of this room. Which is hopefully not terribly difficult. Want you about there. Awesome. Maybe one. Yeah, okay, good. Wonderful. Wonderful. All right, so all 6 of the desks are now aligned, and to refresh my memory on what we've got in terms of designs here, that's right. We went for the rounded corner and then the actual cabinet piece. That's right. So how that works is rather simple. The idea of it is simple. I'm gonna have to exit out and re-enter because Hancock is just going to be chasing us around for the next 3 years otherwise. Oh man. You know, I had a lot of fun yesterday. So this is by no means an indictment. But I was not in town. I did not get back into town until 10 p.m., 10:30 almost. But I had been out of town for about 12 hours yesterday, just driving around. It'll be a fun story to tell when everything's actually taken care of. But right now, it's just we're kind of just waiting. But it'll eventually be a fun story, and I'll definitely love to tell it, because it was a fun day, but it was draining, and I wrestled with whether or not I was going to just stream at 10:30 last night, which on any other day, if I hadn't been exhausted from a day of travel, I probably would have done. But it was either that or stream today, and my original plan was to stream the super early this morning. But I got up and I simply could not physically get out of bed. It was it was a long day. It was a long day, but it was good. It was good. It was worth it. Okay. Sorry, I feel like I have something. I know I don't, but it feels like I have something stuck in my throat. Alright, that'll work nicely. Nice. Okay, so now it's a matter of decorating all of the tables, and then we add a couple of things. You know, we're gonna need to add our filing cabinets and you know, regular stuff like that. But the filing cabinets should also be rather easy to work with, because we can just copy the same system we just used. We'll go over to containers, to office. I'll do my best to snap onto you. No? Okay. Are we good? Yeah, we're good. Okay. Wonderful. Wonderful. Now we've got the two sets of filing cabinets there. You would probably be the easiest one to set up first, because you are almost perfectly in line with where I need you to be. Okay, and that should be good there. Is that floating? I feel like that's, yeah, that's floating just a little bit. At least it felt like it was. We'll see. Can I snap it? Yes, I can. Okay, good. Not floating anymore. It's exactly what we need. And neither are you. Okay. Okay, great. Great. Now we just do that on the opposite side. Ah, yes. I'm gonna need to move you for when I place the for when I place the chalkboard. But that's not a problem. Right now, at least. Now we'll do the same for this. Ooh, yes, I forgot. I need to work with you like this. Yes, because you, because you need to be behind the desk itself. That's right. Okay. Well, either way, it still works. It still works very well. Nice. And then you need to be actually moved back over to this section. Yes, okay. Okay. Awesome. Okay, yeah, I might as well go ahead and place the other filing cabinets here for now. I am not happy with how much lag is generated when I look in this general direction, but we're gonna have to work with it for now. There's not too much we can do at the moment. Oh, and one other thing about the console commands, if you want to look at the if you want to be able to rotate an object, you want to rotate it on one of its axes. If you rotate it on the x-axis, it will turn either left or right. If you rotate it on the y-axis, it will rotate either forwards or backwards. If you just rotate it on the z-axis, though, it just sort of spins in place. Which is what I needed for this. I need it to be flipped around the opposite direction, and 180 degrees is backwards. So that's exactly what you're looking for. All right. Wonderful. Okay. Now that we've got all of those placed, let's go ahead and work on decorating each of these desk spaces. The first thing I'm going to do, the first thing I did last time, I'm fairly certain, was place down the chairs, right? Was it the chairs or the terminals I placed first? It might have been the terminals I placed first. Yeah, in that case, we'll place the terminals first. So for these, they might be placed somewhere differently depending on your own mod load order, but if you're using all of the settlement mods I am, Homemaker is listed and is where I go for the terminals. So Homemaker, Power, Miscellaneous, and all of the different terminals are in here. And we want it to be close enough to the edge of the desk, but not too close. It's as centered as I can make it, which is what I need. The only thing that bothers me is looking at the object when I try to rocket jump with my, well, not rocket jump, when I try to use my, my jetpack. Come on. There we go. I'm more worried about getting them actually placed more than the exact manipulation of them for the moment. We'll get there. We will get there. Okay. That would be all 6 terminals placed, which is perfect. Now we need to worry about the chairs. And the chairs are from another mod, yet a third building mod we're using here. So we use a building mod called Settlement Menu Markers, which for me is over here. Settlement Markers, not Settlement Menu Markers, just Settlement Markers. You want to go into Settlement Markers, move over to Furniture, and then you're going to look for chair typing scaver. They misspelled scaver. It's supposed to be scaver, but it's spelled scaver, so I pronounce it scaver. This is what we want. We can assign people to these chairs, and it will look as if they are typing on, that they are typing either on the terminal or on a typewriter, depending on what you're looking for. For me, of course, I'm looking for the terminals here. But at different points, I've placed different objects in front of them. Not that they will actually be interacting with a typewriter or a terminal, but it will look like they are. It will sound like they are. All of their animations will match them doing so, and that's what's important. That's what I need from this. We will be using a lot of settlement marker objects in this build, as we usually do. Settlement marker, for those of you who have seen the tour of the castle, the settlement markers are also how I went about how I went about placing all of the different firing range objects. You can tie a target practice marker and an actual target together. And the practice marker will always aim for the closest target, which the shortest distance between 2 points is going to be a straight line. So you just place one of these, and then on the wall that you're looking to shoot at, or at the object you're looking to shoot at, or whatever it happens to be, you place the target itself. You could also have placed cutouts or any of those kinds of things if that's what you were looking for, but that's not what I needed. I just needed the actual target markers themselves. When you are not in creative, I say creative mode as if it's Minecraft here. When you're not in the build menu, the target markers, anything that's not a furniture piece that you've placed down from settlement markers, will disappear. It will just be an invisible object, only accessible once you are in the actual build menu itself. Now, occasionally there will be visual glitches where it still shows, even though it shouldn't, because it's supposed to be invisible. In which case, simply reload your game. Create a save and reload your game, because it's just a visual glitch. It will fix itself. All right, that is all 6 chairs placed for the teachers that will be assigned to each of these classrooms. Wonderful. That's exactly what I needed. So now we'll go about decorating the actual countertops, and then we'll place all of the other objects in the room. What I use for most of this is OC Decorator. OC Decorator, for those of you who have been watching for a while, is the best friend of any settlement designer. If you use the Bethesda menu for all of your mods, there are versions of OC Decorator available. I don't know which versions, but I do believe a version that creates pre-generated clutter, like pre-generated clutter placement or desks with pre-generated clutter, all that kind of stuff. There is a version for that. I don't do that, only because I take the extra step of making each of these rooms as unique as I can. Because otherwise it will just look, oh, you just copy and pasted all of these objects, which isn't the goal here. The goal is for all of this to look lived in and to seem unique, even if it's not entirely unique. For instance, each of the classrooms will have each of the teachers' desks in the classrooms will have a certain set of objects. What changes is the placement of those objects, not whether or not the objects exist. So, for instance, we will need a desk fan, a globe, some folders for homework, pens and pencils. It can be however many you want it to be, but this is the way I do it. We'll go pens. A pair of pencils. And occasionally, though not in every one of these classrooms, occasionally, if I have the room for it, I will also place a typewriter. And I do believe I've got the room for it this time. We're going to move this desk fan over here. And we also need a bunch of books. Lots of books, because it's a classroom. Of course the students are going to need certain books. It can be as many or as few as you want. I tend to stay to multiples of 3 in terms of the book stacking, just because anything higher tends to look a little weird. Not that it would be unstable until you got really tall, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. And that automatically looks more lived in right away. Looks great. There's a couple of other objects we will need, but we're focusing first on the OC Decorator objects just to get all of them placed and all of them working. Then we will go back and use a couple of different Homemaker objects, but again, we'll get to that. We've got some work to do first. Now, decorating these big classrooms, you have a lot more room. So some of this room will be dedicated to the objects that we use, again, through Homemaker. So if it looks like there's not as much clutter as there probably should be, that's likely what the problem tends to be here. It'll solve itself once we've placed all the other objects. Alright, we're going to need some folders, and I think the folders will work well over here this time. I do want to do my best to keep the folders out of the way of the fan in case anything gets blown around, or, put a paperweight on top of the folders, that kind of stuff. Just because it kind of makes more sense that way to me. I don't know. That might just be a me problem. I don't know. Entirely possible. Yeah, I think we're going to go with the globe on this side this time. And then the fan. We'll put the fan over here. No. We'll put the fan up here. Yes. That way the papers are still out of the way. Wonderful. Okay, and then we'll put some books on this counterpiece. I think we'll go with 4 for you. Nice. Now that has all of the same components, just arranged in a different order, and we still have some open space over here, which again will be taken care of once we hit the Homemaker section. Now, I think we'll start with the fan in this corner. Put our globe over here this time. I'm not going to place a typewriter this time. I don't think we need one. The typewriter is not a standard object I place in these classrooms either. It only appears in maybe a quarter of them right now. And we'll go with 3 books for you. Wonderful. I have decided we're going to do our best to build out a library space on the 3rd floor. However, part of that 1 hour break in between is making sure that I've got all the dimensions down properly and downloading a couple mods that I have not had the time to download yet. But those will be added to they'll be added to the mods list once I know that they work. They'll be added to the mods list for the VOD for part 2, and then, you know, further on after that. Okay. And no, not missing anything important on those sections. Wonderful. Now we've got these 3 other desks to worry about, and then we'll switch gears into Homemaker for a couple of objects. And there we go. Pens and pencils, and that should be all for this teacher's desk. Now, you know, if there was like one of the pen cups, you know, they'll just put a bunch of pens and pencils in them. If those, I'm sure that's probably not the actual name of the thing, but you know what I'm talking about. That would be a very cool settlement object. I'd like that, but I don't think those exist in this game. Okay. I'm pretty sure that's going to be the last typewriter I place down there. And then we need books. That's right. Okay. That should be all for this section for now. Would be these books. Okay. And there. We'll go, we'll just do the one pencil, why not? Just go with the one pencil, and then we've got the books. That will be all of the desk object, well, most of the desk objects. As I said, we've got a couple things in Homemaker to work with. All right. Wonderful. But now that those are all handled, the only objects we've got left to work with in terms of important classroom decorations, they're going to be Homemaker, and then, actually one other thing, clocks, obviously. Kind of important. All right. The clocks, those are simple. We go furniture all the way over to the SOE pack, and then clock. Place them down, and they track our actual time. I do enjoy that. I do enjoy that they track our actual time. That is pretty solid. Okay. So, having gone ahead and worked on all of that, the next thing we have to do is head on into Homemaker. In Homemaker, we need technically 3, but really two different objects. We're going to Decorations, Miscellaneous Interior, in our Homemaker, and the first object, one of my favorites, the chalkboard. Although to place the chalkboard properly, we're going to need to modify the location of the filing cabinets, only for the big classrooms though. And then I will go ahead and scale it up to 1.5 times its current size using the command set scale and then 1.5. You can scale it down to anywhere, including decimal places, from 0 to 10 are scalable sizes for us. And then mod pause, modify position, X. Okay, that was a total of 8. There we go. 8 to the left, down by 1/10 of a unit, or rather forward or back by 1/10 of a unit, not forward. There we go. And our standard reset everything back to 0 to make sure that the object freezes itself. Doesn't matter which of the axes you select 0 for, it just has to be 0 in order for them to not move. Now these are in front of sections of the chalkboards, but they're fine. It works. It's only in the big classrooms that I have to even move the filing cabinets for all of these. In the rest of the classrooms, I just put them opposite the filing cabinets. And then whenever you need to change the weather in the middle of build, like I tend to do, instead of, sleeping, what you can do is use the command set space game hour. Game hour is one word, and then space the word 2, and then space, and then the number. The number being on a 24-hour clock. So if you're looking for 10 p.m., that would be 22. If you're looking for 10 a.m., that would be 10. I tend to go for 10 a.m. and then force weather. 0002 B52A is the command for a nice clear sky. I don't know the commands for all the other weather types because a nice clear sky is what I want to build with. But you can find all the different weather states and commands online very easily on your own. All right, so while those are all hanging out up there, there we go. Perfect. I think that's probably my favorite placement of these chalkboards that I've had so far. Anyway, we're going to move these back. There we go. Okay, now we've only got 4 more chalkboards to place. We're good. We're good. 4 more chalkboards to place. Alright, I can do 4 more. And then over here. Beautiful. And finally. There we go. Okay, I don't know what happened with that one. That was rather strange, but okay. Wonderful. All right. Okay, everything's working so far. Things all good there. So, oh, you probably could use a little bit of movement, couldn't you? There we go. That should be good. Now, one other object we need from in here, Homemaker Decorations Miscellaneous Interior. We need, well, I guess it's technically 2 objects, but it's 1 object to me. We need the boxes with the files. That's what we're here for. That is our last little bit of decoration for the teachers section at the very least, before we have to place all of the chairs for the students. Which is not my favorite thing in the world to do, because it's rather tedious, but it's important. Not going to pretend it isn't. There we go. And just a few of you. Lots of homework supplements. That's the main thing here. Lots of homework supplements. Are you a floating object? Oh, no, you're not. Wonderful. Wonderful. That's kind of rare, actually. Almost done here with all of these boxes. One more classroom and we should be good. Ooh, okay. Nice. Okay. Okay, now comes the extremely tedious part. The part that I wasn't super excited to do in the first place, but that's kind of important that I actually... that I do. Oof. Okay. Let's see here. Let's see. Oh, I need just a short break here from building, because this next part, oh man, this next part's going to be very boring for me. Very, very annoying and boring for me. Whenever you're in building settlements, there's always going to be something that bothers you, something that's just very boring to do, something that you would rather not if you could help it. But, you know, you just have to. You can't really escape it ever. It will always come back to bite you. And if your goal, like mine, is to create an immersive, logically planned out, and functional settlement, then it's gonna happen. It's just how it happens to be. If you want it to look lived in, if you want it to feel... just got a message over there. I'll respond to that in a second. If you want it to feel like it belongs in the world of Fallout itself and isn't just thrown together or isn't just so immaculate that it makes no sense, but if you want it to actually work for the space, you have to put in that extra detail. So much of that comes down to desk clutter. So much of it comes down to, well, does this object make sense for this space? Like all of these desks, this is what we'll be doing next, placing all of these desks here. They work, they make sense for the space because it's a classroom. Now, a blessing and a curse is that I can't actually place objects on top of these because these are assignable settlement objects. They aren't just static. Yeah. But it all has to work. It all has to fit. Now, as I've made clear a few times throughout the build series here, we'd be on episode 34, 35? Yeah, 35. As I've made clear on that end, my goal is that all of these buildings here, the reason that they're not, that they're not going to be extremely run down, the reason that I'm using, clean interior walls and all this kind of stuff is because this is all part of a 9-year-long initiative by the Minutemen to go ahead and restore what exists of the Commonwealth. What they can restore, they will restore. That's kind of the goal. If it's not something they can do, or it's not something they've had the time to do yet, or whatever it happens to be, then okay, they'll wait. But other than that, they've done their best to go ahead and restore it. And it's a slow process, but it's worked so far. It's worked so far. All right, I've got a message here to answer really quickly, and then we'll jump into the actual placement of all those desks. Right. All right. Well. Oh boy. Okay. I'm really dreading this. So, as we figured out from the previous setup here, I've got 14 in these smaller classrooms, and I have 20 desks in the larger classrooms. Very quickly, I have a phone call to answer. I will be right back. This shouldn't be happening, but give me 2 more minutes. All right, we're back. Apologies. That's one more thing I get to edit, which I totally love to do. One more thing. Okay. Anyway, now we're going back into settlement markers. We're going into furniture. And the desk, kids only. Kind of an important settlement object. It is literally designed exactly for this purpose. So, that's what we're working with. Oh man, come on. Come on. Come on. Not that hard. Shouldn't be. Okay, now I have to do the annoying bit. Of making sure that everything is properly located. Okay, seriously? There we go. That's about as close as I'm going to make it there. We need them to have enough space in between these two rows for me not only to put a third section, but also for that third section to still be something that all of the settlers can walk around. That's the big thing there. Okay. Come on. There we go. All right. Yeah, there's the bonus of, can the door swing inwards and not hit the chair? We'll see. We'll see. All right. Yeah, that door should have plenty of space. But this is the whole process. It's a boring process. But I now have to do it 5 more times. 5 more times. Very fun. We love it. We love this process. There we go. And then we'll come over here and place the last set. Oh, come on. Just get up on the... It's not that hard. Just get up on the wall. Ah, come on. There we go. Okay. Okay, I'd like to get all the smaller classrooms handled first, just because they're very annoying. They're very annoying to work with. At least the larger classrooms, I can have an even 20 desks, but in these, man, it's just terrible. All right, come on. Oh, that's not even close to where I need it to be in terms of distance from the wall. That's probably the best seating placement I've had this whole time. These seats over here. That's probably my best seating placement ever. Yeah. Yeah, that's about as close as I'll get. And then, how far from the wall? Ooh, yeah, these ones need to be pulled in a lot closer. All right, plenty of room for movement and for the door and for the whole bit. All right, there we go. Nice. Now, only 3 sets left. Ugh, okay. 200 minus 11 would be 189, right? Yeah. Yep. Okay. And 189 divided by 2 would be 94 and a half. $94.5. That's that was a pretty solid placement. I'll give you that. That was a good placement. Is it great though? Does it? I mean, it'll be as good as it can be. Now we've just got the two interior classrooms, the two wide classrooms. These ones are significantly easier, and at the same time more difficult. What does that mean? Nothing. Basically nothing. However, what I'm getting at is I now have to create an interior row. Sorry. So we've got the 2 rows on the walls and then 2 internal rows up against essentially this section of the doorway that still needs enough room for students to walk through and for the door not to collide with anything. It's not fun. It's not very fun, but it's doable. I personally am surprised that we have only been streaming for 1 hour and 40 minutes. It's a lot of work that we've gotten done in the span of 1 hour and 40 minutes. Quite a lot of work. Okay. What I think I'm going to do is take the same approach I just went with for one of the side rooms. Okay, and then we're going to come in here. And then, come on. Okay, now that we've got all of these, we can properly align them. All right, 87. That's about the number we're looking for. And then we want -50. Nice. Okay, one more. One more classroom of these things to worry about. Then we'll go ahead. We'll place lights everywhere. We'll do all the stuff with the ceilings. I have considered, and I'm still in the process of considering, placing down some wallpapers. Only because it's a very boring white room for each of these rooms. And other than the outside wall, I don't see why it needs to stay that way. Not really. Not a great reason. Just, you know, just because isn't a solid enough reason for me. So, I don't know. I'm looking at possibly doing something. I need a little bit more time to think about it, just to figure out what that would actually look like, what that process would be, but that's probably something we're gonna handle today. One of our 2 streams today will have to be that. It'll have to be. There we go. Come on. We're close. Oh, come on. We're close. We're so close. There we go. Wonderful. Oh, okay. Okay, apologies for all the dead silence there, but I was really just honed in on making sure I could get the all the desks taken care of, and that looks like all of them. That looks like all of them. Okay. 14, 28, 56, 76, 86, 96. There we go. 96 students on the top floor, 96 students on the bottom floor. We've got 192 students max. Yeah. 192 students max. Oh, okay. Okay, you know what? We might as well. We might as well go for it. We've got the time. We've got the time. We will do some amount of wallpaper stuff, but it has to be the right kind. It has to be the right kind of wallpaper. Has to look just right. And I think we're probably going to go for the half wall section. Honestly, half-height blue, I do like that. And it will snap. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That is just a half wall piece. Okay. Okay, I won't worry about that. Won't worry about the external walls. Only the interiors. To the best of my ability. Hmm. No. No, okay. Yeah, it's just gonna have to be like that. Oh well. Ah. Okay. Okay, that's nice. That's very helpful. I'm glad I planned that mostly ahead. Now we'll go with you. Oh, are we gonna have trouble over there? Yeah, we are. Why X300? What happened there? Why did I type X300? What's wrong with me? There we go. All right. So yeah, let's see. What about these walls? Probably nothing to them. I don't know. I do like the blue. I like the blue a lot. Blue is one of my favorite colors. So I think we'll continue that interior color here. We'll go for green for downstairs, I think. We'll do that. And we'll need these down here. I'm trying to decide, am I going to use these wallpapers on the hallway section in any way? Maybe, but I'm not going to worry about it for the moment. I think for the moment we're just going to worry about the actual classrooms themselves, because that's enough work. That's enough work as it is. Yeah. Yeah, okay. We'll do some wallpaper styling down here as well. And we'll work with the green. We will need this one. It should not have taken that long. You gotta be kidding me. It's not that hard. There we go. Look at that. That one actually worked the right way that time. How difficult does this need to be? And we've got these ones to work on. Yay. More. More. Exactly what we wanted. Anyway. It does add. It does add to the overall aesthetic. I am happy with it. It's just a lot of wallpapers. Oh, it moved out this way, didn't it? Yeah, okay. Okay, well, we've got... Oh, it's almost done here. Where is it? Ah, I know exactly where. Okay. There we go. And then in here... Yay, okay, it's placed. Good. Took long enough. Oh no. Not dealing with that. Okay, fine. I'll worry about it on the next section. And the last little section. Okay. Almost done with these wallpaper additions. All right. Now, am I going to do anything for the hallway? Anything at all? It's not that I necessarily need to, because it's almost entirely blocked up by the lockers themselves. But I'm sure it would look nice. I'm sure it would look nice. Let's see if I can without causing too much trouble. Yeah, no, okay, it would cause too much trouble. Definitely not worth it. Definitely not worth it for these hallways, I guess. Oh well. Oh well, it happens. I mean, maybe the full wall one wouldn't be as bad? I don't know. We'll look at it. We'll look at it. We'll see how it looks. We'll see if we like it or not. I'm going to assume we probably won't. Just as a safety measure. But it could work. Would it work? It doesn't want to work. Okay, but the half wall works fine. That doesn't make sense. Anyway, doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, but that's what we're stuck with. Oh well. Oh well. Anyway, we've got some lights to put in for each of these classrooms, which shouldn't be too bad. Hopefully. Hopefully. We'll see. We'll see. The goal is that it's not terrible. That's about all I can really promise right now. We want to go snappy builds. Shell kit, floors clean. There we are. All right. Now we'll place all of our bulbs. And the 2 more. Oh, there we go. Okay. One last section. Extremely laggy, and it bothers me that that's the case. It shouldn't be. Should not be that laggy while I'm playing this game. There's no particularly solid reason. Anyway, for these ones on the side, what we're gonna do is something rather simple. Oh no, that's right. They're the internal. They're the internal bits, not the other walls. Okay, and now all the rest of these are just going to be our full block floor pieces here. Inside the classrooms, they're standing up like this. And then in the hallways, they are perpendicular. Wonderful. Okay, wow. 2 hours and 20 minutes in, and we finished the second floor. Let's walk through it for now. Let's check out what this looks like. All right, we got our first floor. Bathroom. Same on the other side, minus, or plus a urinal. Got a classroom space. Classroom spaces. Gotta love them. And on the second floor, we do have one other thing we need to do. We need to change the bulbs with the undamaged ceiling fans. That's what we're going with here. And 2 more. And that will be everything. Nice. Okay. Now that all's that's left to do is place a bunch of doors and figure out how we're going to get to the 3rd floor. Figuring that out is going to be interesting. I'll give him that. Yeah, well, if we can first figure out where the walls of the 3rd floor are going to be, I think that's probably going to help us quite a lot in figuring out how we access the 3rd floor. That's probably very, very important in this whole ordeal. So let's work on those doors. Structures, doors, wood. And we want to go all the way over into these auto-close ones. What I'm thinking is I'm thinking I actually might replace the doors downstairs with green doors and these ones with blue doors. I don't know. They're all kind of messy. They're not clean doors like I would like, but I think it works. Because even the wooden doors, the brown wooden doors we use, it's not like they're clean wooden doors or anything. They're just there. They just happen to work best for the bathroom spaces. Yeah, I think for all of the classrooms, we'll have the classroom doors color coded to the actual classrooms themselves, and then we'll reserve the clean wooden doors for any non-classroom spaces on campus. I say on campus, inside of the schoolhouse. All right. Well, that is rather imposing. Rather massive and imposing. But we have 1 or 2 other things we need to find here in regards to this schoolhouse. So here we go. I'm going to switch us over here. There we are. Nope, I want that switched over, not there in the dash. I want you. There we go. That's where I wanted you. Okay. Okay. Dent Schoolhouse. That's what it's called. That's right. Okay. This is more or less the image we've been working with here. And so the top floor has this little section before the actual roof itself. Okay. We can work with that. We can work with that pretty well. We can work with that. I'm just going to make sure I have you over there. Okay. Wonderful. I am going to make sure to save, because we've made a lot of progress, and in case anything happens, I'd rather it didn't happen. There we go. And now back in. In another 5 minutes when it puts me back into the settlement menu. Alright, we've got about half an hour. I think the only thing we're going to be able to do with this last half hour is probably figure out what the lay of the land is going to be in terms of, you know, how the stairs are going to work and where all the rooms are going to be placed. So first, let's go over to, yes, Snappy Builds, Shell Kit, and then I don't know, which are we going to use here? We're using, yeah, this is the palette. We're using Theme 1 as our palette. It's a nice standard-ish red, but I would like to match the windows as best I possibly can. Which might mean, there we go, there's Theme 1. Okay. That fits pretty close. If I could get a rounded top on these, then we'd be golden. If not, then that doesn't necessarily surprise me. Yeah, looks like we probably can't. Okay. Well, that's fine. We want that to be placed here? Yes. Yes, okay. And then we will begin with understanding our roof line here to the best of our ability. We want slate, theme. Ooh, which one? Is this? Yeah, this is the theme we want to go with. It's got the matching windows. Okay, we're just actually going with this for a second. If I want the section that goes the whole height there. Yeah, then the interior shrinks by approximately one block of space. Oh, come on. Okay, so really we have a 5x5 plus 1 interior space here. So we have 26 blocks to work with to build a principal's office, a cafeteria, and a library. Right. Plus the staircase, of course. Of course. Okay, I think that's probably not going to be too terrible to figure out. Probably not at all, really. Yeah, should actually be pretty easy. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to worry about this, the edge of this section here. We'll come back to these two pieces here. Okay. Yeah, we do need to do something for this section, which means we're going to need the shared parts theme 1, the corners, so that things attach properly, and then just out of simplicity, we'll just run with that. And then to go ahead and not have to worry about the roof bit, mod pause y 0.1. That should be enough of a difference. There we go. Just a tenth of a unit difference, just so that it's not right meshed with the actual face itself. There we go. And we'll go back to our internal, or our interior, rather. Interior walls, not internal walls. Oh, wonderful. They create their own flush corners. That's exactly what we needed. It's perfect. Okay. So this is what the raw 5x5 space looks like here. Right, okay. How might we solve this? How might we solve the dilemma of the stairs first? That's the big question. Oh, yeah, we also need to build a teacher's lounge. That's what it's called. I'm intelligent. Very intelligent. Okay, so a teacher's lounge, a cafeteria, a library, and a principal's office. That's fine. 4 rooms, that's no problem at all. That's no problem at all. I think I already know what the spacing is going to look like for those 4 rooms anyway. I just need to figure out the staircase. Well, I'm fairly certain that if I go ahead and I get all the walls taken care of for all of the extra spaces, then worrying about the the staircase will probably be easier once I know which rooms are going to be where. That shouldn't be a massive problem. Okay, so in the back section over here, we will go ahead and place a dividing wall there and there. And there. Yes. And then what we'll need to do okay, come on. There we go. Wonderful. Okay, one of these will be the teacher's lounge and the other will be the principal's office. And then these two larger spaces on the sides, one of them will be the cafeteria plus the kitchen, and the other will be the library. And that's how that's all being split up. I'm not putting toilets up here. That's just not happening. That would cut down significantly on the amount of space that we have to build the rooms that we need to build. And there's 4 other toilets, or rather, there's 4 other restrooms in this building. So it shouldn't be the end of the world. Hopefully not extremely difficult for people to handle here. I say people, I mean NPCs. But now, oh yes, you're actually going to be matched up to the external wall, aren't you? Ah, that'll be interesting. Okay. An added level of complexity there. Okay. Okay. That works well. Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Okay. Well, with that taken care of, now we need to just figure out where the doors are going to go for each of those sections. Actually, well, no. We need to worry about the stairs first. We really do. Okay. Okay, well... what could I do here? What would work? What would... well... No, the stairs have to be somewhere along this line here. And they have to be facing in either of the x-axis directions. Right. Well, there's a big spacer here. I could do that. I could have the stairs coming up here. Probably. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe it would work. I don't know. We'll have to figure it out here. Okay. Okay, and then we come in here. We handle that. Yeah, okay. And then... where am I? Mm, 24 units that way. Units that way. Might be even too much there. 8 units, okay. What's important is that it works. We can then come in here and attach our railings. And then we'll have to make sure we place all of the, all of the balcony supports and everything, so no one accidentally falls through and injures themselves, which would be a massive liability that is simply not something I want my guys to have to handle. All right, and then can we? I mean, we can't. Yeah, we can't really do anything about the wall placement itself. The wall placement is kind of stuck where it is, but we might be able to put ledges on there and try to clean it up a little bit. Okay, never mind. It's not the end of the world that we can't. It would have been nice, but, well, let's be completely honest. It's fine. It is perfectly fine. All right, at this top floor, I kind of do want to put in a third wallpaper, although I don't know what. I don't know what. I do want to put in a third wallpaper. I think we're still going to go with the half wall bits. And I would like one of the paints, but I don't know what other paints are available to us. We've got yellow. Got all the tiles. The tiles look bad. It's just ugly. Yeah, we don't have a lot. We've got the metallic colors, but we're not looking for the metallic. I mean, maybe we just keep the hallway sterile. Yeah, maybe we just keep the hallway sterile, and we'll just worry about the wallpapers for the actual rooms themselves. You know, works pretty well. Works pretty well. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Okay, I can run with that. I can run with that. Yes. So one of these rooms is going to be one of these big rooms is going to be the library space, and the library space is going to need, yeah, this wood paneling. Makes it, you know, look quieter, I guess. I don't know what that means, to look quieter. Okay, we've got 3.5 blocks of space here. And which end do I want the library entrance to be? Probably over here. Same with the cafeteria. Yeah, okay. Okay, yes. Then in that case, we will first replace those with shell kit, interior walls. The library, we're going to have the standard door here. The cafeteria. Yes. Yes, and we're not going to put doors in the cafeteria. It's just the cafeteria space. We just need a divider for the cafeteria space that you know, frames everything in. Still looks good doing so. Okay. Oh, you know what? I did say something about a utility closet, didn't I? I did say something about a utility closet. Darn. Okay. We could put the utility closet here. Yeah, we could do that. That would work. Okay. Then yes, utility closet there. There we go. There we go. Wonderful. Wonderful. Still seem to be able to solve all our problems. Once we run out of the ability to solve our problems, then we should be worried. At that point we have concerns. But for now we're doing all right. We are doing all right. And our buddy, Mr. Hancock, is very upset that he cannot reach us right now. Okay. Yes, sorry. We were working with the wallpapers. Shell kit, wallpapers, shared interior, walls. Is he actually going to be able to path to us? Because if not, then that's kind of indicative of the pathing of all the other NPCs. But it shouldn't be a problem. It really shouldn't be an issue. Just to ensure that it's a bit easier for our NPCs, I will remove that section. And that section, just to ensure that our NPCs have easier times with these sets of stairs. Okay. Anyway, yeah, if Hancock can't reach us, then there's probably going to be issues with the NPC pathing. At the end of the day, this is a set piece. This is an artistic set piece more than anything. It would be nice if everything worked, but I can just you know, I can just force them all to fit in the space properly. All right, yes, this will be the library, and over here will be the cafeteria, which means I'm gonna need to do something about this. So here's my plan for the cafeteria space. Is it a smart one? I don't know, but it is one. What's important is that it is a plan. We are going for snappy builds. We're gonna move back into shell kit as per usual. Interior, clean. We're gonna do something a little crazy here, maybe. I don't know, this might not be the smartest move. And in case it isn't, I've got you just to be sure. Okay, 31 is the max height for that. Yeah, no, definitely not a smart move, which is fine. I simply will not worry about that. Okay, well then what are we going to do for this space? How is this going to work? We do need to set up some kind of divider because there's a kitchen. We need to set up something. Ooh, hold on, that could be interesting. Actually, yeah, that might work. That might work very well. So if we go with you, and then... Ooh. Okay. Well, it'll be kind of challenging, but is it doable? I think so. I think so. I think so. All right. Here's the plan. Here's the plan. We're gonna go with you. Oh, come on. There we go. All right, 64 units up. and then we're going to create and connect a big a big countertop here. That's what we need to do next. Homemaker, furniture, surfaces, counters and cabinets. I would love for these to snap. Do they? No, looks like they don't want to. Unless that's maybe just because of the specific locational placement. No, you don't want to snap. Okay. Well, in that case, we will go with the Old Faithful. These bad boys. And then, oh, hold on. There we go. Awesome. Awesome. There's our countertop. And then once we've got the roof, or rather the ceiling piece in, we want yeah, that'll work. That'll work perfectly. Okay. 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 Oh, no worries, NCR Ranger Bravo. Glad you're here. You did catch us just at the end of this stream, but no worries. We will be live in an hour for the next part, for our second stream of the day, because I missed yesterday and I'm not streaming tomorrow. That's the one thing I have to hold to, is I'm not streaming tomorrow. But we will be back in just about an hour to finish up this building. Okay, so what is the screenshot going to look like today? For at least for part one of today's streams. Let's see. Let's see here. We're going to save. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Now we're not about to run into a rad storm. I've got that, and then can maybe something down here, perhaps. I like it. I like it a lot. I could always go for this top section one, but nah, I don't think I need to. I think I'll wait. I think I'll wait for a nice high angle until we've got the whole building roofed and everything, and just all the placement finished. I think I'll wait until then. But that should be everything. That should be everything for now. So yeah, I think that's it. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. I will be back in 1 hour from now, which would be 4:30. 4:30 is the start of the next stream. I need a quick break. You know, I need maybe to eat something. There's a few things I need to handle, and a couple mods that need to be installed for the next part of this project. So we will be back in about an hour, and we'll be back for part 2, just to finish up the streams. If you've enjoyed watching this one, thank you guys so much for having watched live. Those of you who were able to. If those of you who haven't been able to watch live, you can watch the entire VOD over on my VODs channel on YouTube, CN Games. It's obviously for VODs, but also for gaming content in general. If you are watching on the VODs channel, thank you for watching on the VODs channel. Consider liking, commenting, and subscribing. And go ahead and check the description of this VOD for all of the mods that I'm using for the settlements, as well as links for everywhere you can find me. The other YouTube channels, the Kick channel, which please give us a follow if you'd like to watch live. Twitter, and which I go ahead and notify whenever I'm streaming. So if you would like to know when I'm streaming and you don't get notifications other ways, Twitter's a pretty good way to get that. As well as the other social media platforms I'm on, and ways you can support me monetarily if you feel like doing so, but that's up to you. I'm not going to sit here and try and force you to part with your hard-earned money. So thank you all so much for watching. As I've said, we will be back in 1 hour for the next stream, and if you're watching the VOD, the next one should be up by now. They should probably be up within a couple hours of each other. So, just watch the next VOD. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys here in just about an hour, which is usually our regular bat time, but definitely the same bat channel. All right, have a good one.